Okay. Hi, Amanda.
Hey.
We're recording and we are having our team call, and it's me and Amanda having a party tonight. And if other people hop on, awesome. If not, you'll get the recording. And actually, I think this is going to be a pretty short call anyway. I got to grab something. Hang on. So it is Wednesday, May 30th. Tomorrow is the end of May 2018. So crazy, so amazing. And tonight, I would like to turn the woo on, totally go into woo woo territory. And I apologize for being fuzzy. I tried to play with it earlier, but we're going there because hi, Brandy. Hello. So we're going there tonight because this has been presenting to me a number of different ways lately. And I had the revelation today that I actually have functioned like this within my business, but I didn't know that I was doing it at the time. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about taking business action that is aligned with your menstrual cycle. Yeah, I said it. So here's the scoop, and here's the reality. In today's day and age, we are so kindergarten-esque about hearing about, learning about, being presented with anything with menstruation or the female menstrual cycle. We are not, especially in America, we are presented it at a very young age, and it's very surface level. My experience was the girls went in one room and the boys went in another, and we learned about things that happen in our bodies and in their bodies. And then that was it. And then we're supposed to go through life experiencing all these things, having this very natural thing happen for us with two little seedlings worth of knowledge with it. When really, and not to mention, it's kind of what's the word, bastardized. Nobody likes talking about their period. Nobody likes asking questions about the period. Guys don't know what to do when we're on our period, right? And when we use being on our period as an excuse for why we're being a freaking crazy person, right? That's just what it comes down to. And I don't get a period personally. So I did throughout my teenage years. I got it when I was 12. Throughout my teenage years, I had it, but sporadically, maybe 2 times a year, and it would come for 3 weeks, and it would be awful. And doctors chalked it up to, oh, you're athletic. Oh, it's because you're young. It'll regulate at some point. Well, it never did until I went on birth control, but that's a synthetic period, right? So that's not my body. That's literally me putting hormones into my body to make me do certain things. After I went off birth control when I was 25, I did not get a period. I am 32 years old. I have not had a period since then. So, but I will tell you, well, actually, let me just finish this thought process. So the thing about the female menstrual cycle, this is it. Look, I'm clear. Yay! I'm not going to move. So the thing about the female menstrual cycle, and I spilled carrots with curry powder on the paper earlier, so just ignore that. But the thing about it is it's more than just a period. And you guys have known, I've shared with you guys on calls before that I read the book Woman Code, which really breaks down your breaks down your menstrual cycle into 4 different cycles. And I should have pulled that book today too, because that would have been helpful. But the thing about our menstrual cycle, we really focus it being around the period itself, when actually we've got 4 different stages, and only one of those stages involves having a period. There are 4 different stages to our menstrual cycle. Tonight, I want to talk about 2. And the reason I want to talk about 2 is because I want to link it first to the moon and then to our businesses. Okay? Amanda, you're such a good sport. I love you. So, back in the day, I don't know where, I don't have any, I have been told this, but the person that has told me this is a spiritual life coach and is very aligned and very in tune with these things. So I don't have any literature to support this, but I do have female intuition, and this to me sounds like it's spot on. Back in the day, at the beginning of freaking time, before life got so complicated with like stuff, right? Like with things taking over. We, as the divine feminine, all had one menstrual cycle. So, you know, like when you are like roommates in college, like you kind of all tend to like get the same period or get your period at the same time, or like you and your mom maybe. So we, as the female species, all had one time of the month where we had a period, and it was right around the new moon. It was right at the beginning. So not the full moon, but the new moon, where it's like the beginning of it all. So throughout all of mankind, females would have one cycle together. Isn't that amazing? So like, talk about like divine feminine, talk about freaking power. I'm going to walk you through this. So basically this chart with my curry carrots right here, this chart breaks up our cycle. So picture it in, it has 4 different sections, but picture it in really 2 halves. So the first half is the folliculinum. Do you know how to say that word, Amanda? Folliculinum. Folliculinum. I think that's it.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So basically, the new moon is here. We're having our period. This first half is when we're like coming off of our period. And this half, the first half of our cycle, so like say a cycle is a perfect 28 days. The first 14 days are the doing part of the cycle. This is when we're feeling really revved up. This is where we're feeling super creative and super inspired. And it's like, oh, Insanity Max 30, I got that, right? Like to bring it into Beachbody terms. The second half is the being phase. So the first half is the doing, like I can do all the things. The second half is where we are transitioning into PMS, and we're literally, we as women kind of want to like put a blanket on. We want to like go into our caves. We want to get smaller because our body is literally getting ready to shed lining. And so it's building up. Like we've had so much energy that first half. The second half, it's like we need to receive. We need to tend to the garden. We can't keep planting. We can't keep forcing. We can't keep cultivating. We need to like tend to it. So the second half is when we simply get to be and enjoy and give space to ourselves and align with desires and get quieter and feel more deeply. The first half, we're freaking going for it. We're doing it. The second half, we are feeling everything. We are way more raw. Amanda, can you like picture yourself even like, not even like tracking your cycle, but can you picture yourself like all of those feelings?
Yeah, that's like actually crazy.
Isn't that crazy? So, and
especially with working out.
Yeah.
Like I could be like, oh, I'm going to do it. Like today, I literally worked out with Shift Shop and then went on a walk for like 1.5 miles and then ran 1.5 miles.
Yeah. And when was your period? Was it recently?
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So you're probably coming like at like the tail end of like that doing phase. Like where soon you'll come into that like, oh my gosh, am I a freaking crazy person that I did that? All I want to do is lay here and do 3-week yoga retreat, and that's even a stretch, right? Mm-hmm. Like because I know for me, sticking with a program is so helpful, but there are times that I'm like, I literally can't. It does not feel good to force my body that hard. I just want to rest. That's not crazy. That is our body being super aligned and telling us what it needs. So let's bring that to the moon cycle. So on day 1 of the new moon, we are having our period, and this is like the getting into like the doing, the going. The full moon, we're at freaking full force energy, and we had a full moon last night. So Amanda, like that also goes into like I can do all the things, right? Like, I'm kind of buzzy and like there's so much and like so much energy. So as the full moon starts to dissipate, as it starts to become less and less, with that, with the closing of the full moon, with more of the shadow coming in, we want to go inward more, right? And like that is if your cycle aligns perfectly with the moon. So for what I'm doing right now, because I'm going to start to take, I'm starting to take supplements, seeds, and oils to help me see if I can help balance my hormones that way. It's very Chinese medicine-esque, but I'm aligning it with the full moon and the new moon. So now that we have like the science and the woo and all of the things, why don't, instead of fighting it, instead of saying, no, I'm supposed to send out 100 invites today, but really you're like right here and you're like, fuck that, I just want to go to sleep. Why not go to sleep recognizing that like 6 days later, you're going to want to be having the conversations. You're going to be like, oh, no, give me the microphone, put the bed away. I've got work to do. I've got stuff to show up for. I got people to talk to. I just think it's mind-blowing and goes against everything that the very masculine-oriented personal development that we take in, though it's very good, nobody's taking this into account. They're telling us to do the same thing over and over and over and over every day. And our bodies are like, dude, no. Right? Like that's what it comes down to. Our bodies are asking for us to be super go-getters, doers, go get the things done, utilize the time that you've got this energy, utilize the time that your cellular being is recalibrating. You have just shed the lining, you are restoring, you are like doing all the things. Use that time to send the invites, invite to coaching, host your what is coaching events, really like engage with people during that time of the month for you where you're in do phase. And then when you are in the more the be, the feel, why don't you start your challenge groups that week and tenderly welcome people in, tenderly provide the space for them that they will be able to really kind of like tap into and all the hi Kate. So I think it's really important that we start recognizing all of this and applying it to our businesses. So let me give you an example, because I shared at the beginning, I used to do this innately. I used to do this at the beginning of the month. I would, like a crazy person, because I loved it and it felt good and I had the energy to do it, I would send out like anywhere from 300 to 500 invites at the beginning of the month. And it had to be the first 10 days. And I thought it was because I wanted to hit Success Club 10 by the 10th. And yeah, that was a cool goal. That was a cool catalyst. But the fact of the matter was, it was because I was literally listening to my body. Those first 10 days of the month for me, based on my cycle, even though I don't get a period, I still have a cycle. I just didn't have anything to show me where I was in the chart, but because I was listening to my intuition, I would send out the invites during that time of the month. And then quite honestly, I would get to a point that I would be like, I can't send any more out. I'm done, because I was starting to get into that more, that being, that feeling, that PMS, the period time frame for myself. And during those times, that's when I would really dive into the team page. That's when I would really start to show up in my challenge groups and provide support to people. So what if we started planning our vital behaviors around our cycles? And instead of saying, I'm going to do the same thing every single day, all month long, say, the 2 weeks of the month that I'm feeling most alive and ready to go, that's my invite time. The 2 weeks of the month where I'm feeling like I gotta like take a step back. I need space. I need energy. I need creativity. I need all the things. That's maybe when you're writing new content for challenge groups, or when you're doing follow-ups and you're really just cultivating the relationships and you're not focusing on the invites. Does this make sense? All right, Amanda, give me your thoughts.
This makes so much sense. Like, I never thought about it this way. Like, I always kind of noticed like how I had so much more energy like at certain times, but I never put it together like that.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think this is woo at all. Like, I am so like, this is great. I love it.
Well, and it's cool because you get to create your own rules with this. And we all do have different times of the month for things. So what works for me may not work for you, because literally that's the time of the month that you're bleeding or that you are PMSing. And you're like, no, dude, that's great. You go send out your 300 invites. But actually right now I'm going to sit here curled up in a ball, like watching Fixate instead of doing an actual workout, right? So I think what my encouragement would be is tap into where you are in your cycle. And if you're somebody that's pretty regular with her cycle, then like map it out. Pull out a calendar. When did you last have your period? Okay. When is it likely coming next? Okay. Where do you fall within the energy realm of that circle? Are you in the first half with the do? Awesome. Go send out your invites. Go offer up the coach opportunity. Go do all the things and talk to all the people. Are you in the second half where it's like, I need space. I need to take care of myself. I need to like really recharge. Awesome. Go write content, right? Go like do the 3-week yoga retreat and restore your body, right? Like, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a hell of a lot more effective if you're talking to people during the time of the month that you want to talk to people. Yeah. Just like it's a lot more effective to your workouts if you're doing it during the time of the month that you want to do the workouts.
This is so true. Like, this
mind-blowing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
in Woman Code, she actually breaks it down. And like, so this was actually a big motivator for me, because I don't have a period, like I said, but there's a lot of healing stuff going on. And actually, not this past weekend, the weekend before, my body showed signs of a period happening. And in full, hi guys, like full disclosure. So I wiped and there was a tinge of red. There has not been a natural tinge of red. I'm like going to get emotional. There's not been that for 15 years, you guys. But with all the work I'm doing, all the energetic work I'm doing, all the physical work that I'm doing to heal, like, that's a fucking big deal. Mm-hmm. So, but it's interesting. So here's a backstory. That happened on a Saturday night. That Thursday morning, I think it was Thursday or Friday, I went for a run, and I looked at my husband and I was like, I am so raw, like so raw. I just can't. You guys know that feeling, right? Where it's like fish hook to the gut. Like, I am so raw and so vulnerable and so emotional, and like heart is just torn wide open right now. And I looked at him and I was like, I swear, if I were to have a period, it would be happening right now, or it would be coming really soon. And that Saturday night, like, that happened. It was there. So really, really, really powerful stuff. And it just shows you, first of all, the female intuition is freaking no joke. And our bodies are our greatest indicators. So you want to build this business? Figure out where you are. Figure out where your period falls within the month, and work your business appropriately for that time. And I was going to say, so with Woman Code, she breaks it down within the four segments of the cycle. And she literally tells you that she tells you like which exercises are best for which of the four, which foods are best to eat to support our bodies during those times. Do you guys sometimes crave roasted vegetables over like salady, like raw vegetables? It's probably because that's the time of the month that you're at and your body's craving those things. I freaking always crave roasted vegetables, but like actually I've been noticing that like lately I'm like, oh, I kind of want like actually just to eat a carrot and not roast it or saute it. So I'm like, oh, where in the month am I right now? So it's just really cool, you guys. Like, this is not just some nuisance that happens to us that requires tampons every month. Like, this is our greatest indicator for how to best be most effective and most tender. It's huge. Huge. So Kate and Donna, go back and watch the beginning of this because like I kind of like dove into backstory about the female cycle and our period and how to basically best build your business in accordance to where your period falls throughout the month. And I shared that there's a lot of alignment between our periods and the full moon and the new moon. So it's just really interesting. But do you guys have any questions that are on the top of your head? Amanda, you were here the whole. Donna, I can't hear you. Hang on, try again.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't have my period anymore.
But you still have a cycle.
Because I'm old.
But I don't have a period either. That's what I was just saying. I don't have a period.
Oh.
So you still have a cycle. So yes, I'm talking a lot about period, but like also tap into how are you feeling at different times of the month.
True.
And let that be your guide. Like last week when I was super raw, I was in that PMS, like that premenstrual, like really raw, really emotional, really needed to take care of myself mode, right? And last week I had freaking 8 different appointments, you guys, but I got through it all because I was in the first part of my cycle where energy was high and you can do all the things and be all the things. Now I'm like I'm falling back down into like the rest mode because like I plowed through that stuff. And now it's like, okay, I'm nearing the end of that part of the cycle. So it's all about how you're feeling, what your energy is, because we are women. We all have a cycle, no matter what. So why not? So instead of forcing yourself to do the 3 vital behaviors every single day, why don't you pick the time of the month that this vital behavior feels really freaking good and do it? So the time of the month that you're in go mode, send out the invites. The time of the month that you're in like retreat, need to recharge, do your personal development.
What's the name of that book?
Woman Code.
Okay.
By
Who wrote it?
Alyssa Vitti.
And is that where the chart's from that you have, the cycle chart thing?
No, this is from my my naturopath that I went to.
Oh, okay.
The curry powder is from my roasted carrots. But I will share with you guys, just in case you're interested, because this is just really fascinating to me. So because I don't get a period, we are trying to align my cycle to the cycle of the moon. And I don't think that it fits perfectly, but I'm going to be doing the things necessary based on the cycle of the moon. But it's interesting. So the first half, so from day 1 to day 15, so new moon to full moon, I want to focus on eating ground flax seeds, ground pumpkin seeds, and fish oil. Those are the seeds and the oils for that half of the month. And then the second half of the month, which I started yesterday, because yesterday was the full moon, the second half of the month, I am eating ground sunflower seeds, ground sesame seeds, and evening primrose oil. This is the progesterone time frame. And then the beginning half is the estrogen time frame. So cool, right? And apparently those seeds and oils best support your hormones during those times. Because guys, like we forget our bodies are doing all the things while we're busy with the chatter going on up here and like the must do all the things. Our bodies are actually doing all the things. So why not tune in and tap into what our bodies actually need for us to do rather than what freaking the masculine society that we live in needs us to do? Questions? Thoughts? Okay. I'm going to leave you at that so that you guys can go back and watch the beginning later on after I get it put up, and then people can just kind of like ingest this in like a 25-minute call. But I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you start utilizing it as an excuse to learn about your body more, learn about what you need, and learn how to best function within your life based on what your body is actually asking for you to do. Okay. All right, lovies, I'm heading to bed. Kate, I owe you an email. I will send that to you hopefully tomorrow morning, and
That's fine, whenever.
we'll go.
Otherwise, we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, we're talking tomorrow anyway. Okay, you guys, I love you. Have a great evening.
Me too.
All right.
Happy
Bye.
menstrual cycling. Bye.